From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us on your MTN Statewide News this Thursday. I'm Jeanelle Slade. Well, Montana State health authorities announced 615 new confirmed COVID-19 cases today as the state death toll reaches 205. MTN News, which touches base with each county on a more frequent basis, reports 551 new cases today. Now, the latest confirmed death reported out of Yellowstone County this morning. The state's largest county now reaching 70 deaths total. Missoula County reports 106 new positive cases, followed by Flathead with 98 and Yellowstone with 88. There are now nearly 5,600 active cases across the state and 263 people are hospitalized. Well, the need for mental health has been at an all-time high during this pandemic. Bozeman Health is offering free depression screenings today. Now, the hospital has two ways people can be screened: by taking a brief survey online or by stopping by several locations within the community. Anyone is encouraged to take the screening, even if you may not be showing symptoms of depression.
We will give you the actual screening. We'll score it while you're there, and if you have any questions or if we think that maybe that, you might want to look a little further into how you're doing, we'll talk to you. We'll provide you educational materials and also tell you how you can seek help if you feel you need it.
Now, there are no insurance or financial requirements for the screenings. More information and a list of those locations, visit our MTN Bozeman station at kbzk.com. Well, the Montana Department of Commerce has launched a new grant program to help businesses expand more jobs across the state. The Workforce Recovery Grant Program is designed to help refill jobs lost during the economic impacts of COVID-19. The program will reimburse a business for the wages of full-time, permanent jobs created and retained for at least 6 months. Montana's unemployment rate was last reported at 5.6%, 2 points higher than before the pandemic began. Applications will be accepted on a first-come, first-served basis until all funds have been committed, or December 31st. Visit commerce.mt.gov. Well, a quick update on the Yogo fire in the Little Belt Mountains. It keeps growing, now at more than 3,200 acres. 4 helicopters and 127 crew members worked the north and south ends of the fire to prevent continued spread towards recreational residences in the Middle Fork and Dry Wolf areas. Well, today's weather is not helping with high gusty winds and low humidity levels. For more on that, we're going to toss it over to meteorologist Ed McIntosh in the Weather Center. Ed.
Yeah, along with the Yogo fire, we have the potential for other fires to start, Jeanelle. As you take a look, a large area of central Montana, pretty much everything from the Canadian border all the way down to northern Wyoming, under a red flag warning. Hot temperatures, in fact, we could see some record high temperatures set later in the afternoon in portions especially of eastern Montana. Very low humidity and also the winds that have been developing. So it'll be warm off and on through Saturday when we could threaten a few more record highs. That fire risk remains elevated until we start to see a transition into cooler and wetter weather. We've been talking about that all week, but we're starting to refine some of the details on the forecast as that next weather system moves in. Stick around, we'll give you details in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks so much, Ed. Well, with the vice presidential debate now behind us, we can look ahead to the second presidential debate scheduled 1 week from today. But the president's positive coronavirus test now puts that debate into question. And President Trump is ruling out a solution that could make it happen on schedule. Skylar Henry has more details from the White House.
The Commission on Presidential Debates announced next week's debate would be done virtually in light of President Trump's positive coronavirus test. But they didn't run it by the candidates first.
I'm not going to waste my time on a virtual debate. That's not what debating's all about. You sit behind a computer and do a debate. It's ridiculous.
We don't know what the president's going to do. He changes his mind every second. So for me to comment on that now would be irresponsible.
Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden did not comment this morning, but the campaign later issued a statement saying the president was trying to avoid voter questions in the town hall debate format and said Biden would find some place to hold his own event that same night.
President Trump says he wants to get back on the campaign trail, even saying he'd hold a rally tonight if he could. That's despite CDC recommendations that say COVID-positive people should quarantine for at least 10 days.
I don't think I'm contagious at all. Well, first of all, if I'm at a rally, I stand by myself very far away from everybody, so whether I was or not. But I still wouldn't go to a rally if I was contagious.
The Trump campaign is considering an in-person event in Pittsburgh as early as Monday, something that stumped Mr. Biden.
If he goes off and he's going to have a rally, I don't know what I'll do.
Biden is heading to Arizona to meet up with running mate Kamala Harris to launch a bus tour of the battleground state. Skyler Henry, CBS News, the White House.
Vice President Pence will also campaign in Arizona today, along with a stop in Nevada. And this weekend, our series of MTN debates will wrap up with the race for U.S. Senate. Incumbent Republican Steve Daines meets current Montana Governor Steve Bullock. The national spotlight has been shining on this race, and you'll have a chance to hear from the candidates themselves. That's Saturday night at 6 on your local MTN stations and streaming devices. Well, President Trump says troops still in Afghanistan should be home by Christmas. Almost 2 decades ago, soldiers were deployed to fight against terrorists following the 9/11 attacks. Today, there are 5,000 soldiers still in Afghanistan. While President Trump says he can get them all out by December, his national security advisor says there will still be 2,500 troops there by early next year. The U.S. and the Taliban agreed earlier this year of the full withdrawal by U.S. troops by 2021. Well, a regional group assisting people with disabilities is asking for help from people in Great Falls. The Rocky Mountain ADA Center's Regional Advisory Committee program is now accepting applications. Up to 2 people will be selected from each of the 6 states that the center covers. Now, Great Falls committee members will help distribute information and help meet the needs of people with disabilities across the state. The deadline to apply is October 23rd. You can visit RockyMountainADA.org. Up next on your new news, a story about a Billings native who's reaching into his past to take the pop culture scene by storm today. But first, Ed's in next with your statewide weather forecast.